Welcome to Realtor Gary Kelly's podcast on all things real estate.
Hi, this is Gary Kelly. I'm here with Carl Lund of Heritage Long Name.
Heritage Renovation Custom Building.
Okay, here in Northborough. We're at Jet's Diner today, and we were having a conversation about building permits. Now, one of the things that as real estate agents they encourage us to do is whether we're representing the buyer or the seller, it's to go to the town and see if, look at the jacket, okay? It's a nice jacket, it's Eddie Bob. Look at the building jacket and see if permits have been pulled. So I can go out and I can look at the jacket, and sometimes I can see, hold it, there's this big obvious addition on the back and nothing in the jacket. I actually had a house that I sold in Westboro where an entire addition was put on. It was put on without a permit. And when it came to selling the house, the buyer said, well, I think it's got to be permitted. So could you run through, from your perspective, what happens when work is done and it's not permitted and you discover it? Because in New England, we have a lot of old houses, and who knows if some of the old work was ever permitted or if they had permits back in the day.
The problem I've been on a half a dozen of attic remodels, basement remodels where permits weren't pulled. And if a prospective buyer or the current homeowner who had it done when it wasn't permitted, they never took a permit out. They go to the town and now they want to re-permit to get that basement or attic inspected or whatever the project was. If they get it re-permitted and it's 10 years later, a few years later, whatever the new code changes have been, they have to upgrade their project that was done in the past to meet current building code. So there's not many options that you can choose from other than if they were to re-permit it. Maybe that basement didn't have the right R value in the sidewalls. You had to take all the drywall off, build out all the insulation, start all over again. And most of the time people aren't willing to go through that. I think on the real estate end of it, what happens, and I might be wrong, is the homeowner chooses to do nothing but wait for a customer to come that will take it, knowing that it wasn't.
What often happens is it becomes a point of negotiation, and because no one wants to go through and tear walls down so that they can get it all looked at and permitted officially. Yeah. But what happens is there's a dollar value that's set, and the price is reduced by that dollar value, and then the seller can decide whether they accept that or not. And that's the kind of the downstream effect of doing work that's not permitted, is it can come back and bite you later.
Exactly. And it's the permits in general in most of the towns it's $10 per 1,000, and that's physical construction costs. That's not your finish. There's about 14 items in a building code that you don't have to account for in a building permit application for your construction costs. Painting's not included, flooring's not included, kitchen cabinets are not included. So if you're trying to understand what your building permit cost is going to be, it doesn't have to be the $30,000 that the whole project costs. It may only be $15,000, and the contractor should understand that and know where the building permit fees are involved in and what can be taken out of the project. It doesn't have to be there. I don't know if that's made it clear enough, but to avoid a couple $100 in a building permit application doesn't seem to make much sense to me.
I've heard some people say that they don't want to pull permits because they don't want to have it get into the assessed value of the house, because they're going to pay taxes on it. And frankly, I kind of think that's ridiculous. I mean, you're supposed to pull a permit, and let's not have these conversations about what it's going to, what you're saving in taxes, which in my view would probably be minuscule, but also what it's going to cost you at the end if it's discovered that you haven't had that permit.
Correct.
Well,
I was just going to say, I agree with you. It's just the cost effectiveness of having a permit versus not having a permit. The permit is the way to go.
Well, I want to thank Carl for coming out today and spending time with us on the show and talking about building permits.